Yeah, he was, I call him a sociopath. I mean, I think that he wants to win no matter what. He was willing to do whatever it takes to win. He didn't care who he stepped on, who he killed, he would act like a little girl if he needed to. He'd turn around and chop snap your neck off, It developed, it developed. We spent about 5 months just in a room, and we just kept working on the material.
From you, do you try to impart knowledge or your experience onto other actors?
Not purposely, maybe, but just by example. I'm too busy doing my job. No matter how far along you get in this business, I think there's still a certain fear that that you don't want to screw up. You want to do a good job. So if you learned anything from that, good.
Somehow, I have no idea how we've managed to keep it secret. We've given the internet and all this stuff because somehow it hasn't come out. I would say that they're more surprises because they have beginnings, middles, and ends. They're not like, it's not just like a, hey.
He was involved in this to some extent. There was a meeting at their apartment at which you allege that there were some senior production people who witnessed him allegedly berate Justin Baldoni to the point where these third parties felt upset that they didn't do more to stand up for Justin, that they thought Ryan Reynolds was so abusive.
I came home and I remember my face being so flush with blood and heat thinking about this impending disaster that was about to happen, and also really kind of rooting and sitting in that rebellion of the moment too. Like I'm doing something for me. I'm standing up to this.
And you, decent guy?
No.
Terrible human being.
How old are your girls now?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Deadpool's done. Like, we will never let our husbands go see this movie. Any of the Ryan Reynolds is done. Like, there is something very disturbing about this man and the way that he plotted to just like infest every layer of Justin Baldoni's life just to show him who had power and who had money.
He said about you?
No.
He said working with Denzel was a sort of a lifetime dream, and he said you're just about the best actor going. And the problem that brought from him working with you was that sometimes when he was in a scene, he would forget to act and he would sit there and be watching you acting.
Oh, is that what it was?
He would I just thought he was terrible.
The controversy surrounding Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni has taken a dramatic turn, with Ben Shapiro weighing in on the situation. The unexpected legal battle has sent shockwaves through Hollywood, and Shapiro is not holding back in his critique. He has called out the hypocrisy of the entertainment industry, questioning why certain stars are being held accountable while others continue to escape scrutiny. As always, Shapiro provides a detailed analysis, breaking down the legal implications and the potential fallout for all parties involved. The real question now is whether this lawsuit will have lasting consequences for Lively, Reynolds, and Baldoni, or if it will be another case of Hollywood drama that fades away over time.
Something's not so funny in real life. No, he's not so funny. He's very serious.
Blake Lively, her brand, Ryan Reynolds' brand, have totally been tarnished by this because the world now sees them for who they are. They cannot act their way out.
Shapiro begins by dissecting the lawsuit, highlighting key points that many in the mainstream media have conveniently ignored. He argues that this legal dispute isn't just about personal grievances but speaks to a larger pattern within Hollywood. According to Shapiro, the industry often picks and chooses who faces consequences, depending on their political and social alignments. He points out that while Reynolds and Lively have carefully maintained their public image, their involvement in this controversy raises serious ethical questions. Shapiro doesn't shy away from addressing the glaring inconsistencies in how Hollywood deals with such conflicts, making it clear that this case could expose deeper issues within the entertainment world.
Line to every night, going to bed, making up details about the day and what he did when really, he was off doing something.
Ryan Reynolds, a beloved figure in Hollywood, is now facing criticism for his potential involvement in this lawsuit. Shapiro takes a closer look at Reynolds' history in the industry, emphasizing how he has navigated controversy in the past. He argues that Reynolds has built a career on being likable and avoiding political controversy, but this lawsuit could shatter that image. Shapiro also questions whether Reynolds will address the allegations directly or remain silent in hopes that the backlash dies down. Hollywood celebrities often rely on public relations strategies to manage scandals, but as Shapiro notes, this case might not be so easy to escape.
And that Blake had spent the entire prior year trying to wrest control of this movie away from Justin Baldoni. It was his film. He was the director. He's the producer. He's the one who found the book and got the idea for it. And she was such a brat that she wanted to control every scene, wanted to see all the dailies, wanted to do her own cut and did her own cut of the movie. All this is very unusual for just an actress in the film, even if she's the lead. And that she's now tried to turn this whole thing into a PR victory for her to get past what appears to be the fact that she is an egotistical bully.
Just have the courage to pick up the phone and apologize. Like, we don't even need to be aware of it. Pick up the phone and apologize to Justin Baldoni. I mean, I don't even want you canceled. You're just a typical Hollywood slug, follower, could never be a leader. All of you just trying to climb to the top, whatever. It means nothing to the rest of the world. Nobody cares what Hollywood thinks. But try to have a little bit of decency and dignity and right the wrong now, because it is never worth it to sit with the cool kids if the cool kids are just going around kicking puppies.
Blake Lively, known for her polished and controlled public persona, is also under scrutiny. Shapiro criticizes the double standards in the industry, pointing out how female celebrities are often protected from backlash when similar allegations arise. He argues that Lively's past activism and social justice advocacy now appear hypocritical in light of this lawsuit. Shapiro goes even further, questioning whether Hollywood will extend the same level of scrutiny to her as they have to other public figures who have faced similar accusations. The industry's selective outrage, he argues, is once again on full display, proving that power and influence often dictate who gets a pass.
Deadpool, where he said, let's do one more take. And everyone was like, okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And then as the character, he was like horrifically mean to me, but to me. So he was like, you know what's great about you, Weasel? You're not the star, but you just, you know, you do just enough exposition that it's funny and then we can leave and get back. And then I think I don't know. I mean, would I work with him again? No.
No,
I would not work with him
that
again.
much vitriol.
Why is Ryan doing this? And the other weird thing is, like, maybe he got, you know, I think he's kind of.
Shapiro then shifts focus to Justin Baldoni, a director and actor who has positioned himself as a progressive voice in Hollywood. He discusses Baldoni's past statements on accountability and justice, comparing them to the current allegations against him. Shapiro highlights the irony of Baldoni's situation, arguing that he is now facing the very kind of scrutiny he has advocated for in the past. This, Shapiro suggests, is yet another example of Hollywood elites preaching one thing while practicing another. He raises an important question: will Baldoni be held to the same standard he has set for others, or will Hollywood rally to protect him?
And that's what Blake Lively says in a text message, that she too has her dragons, Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift, and that they are powerful advocates.
The conversation then turns to the broader implications of this lawsuit for Hollywood's culture. Shapiro discusses how this case exposes the contradictions within the entertainment industry, where moral posturing often takes precedence over genuine accountability. He notes that while Hollywood frequently criticizes corporations and politicians for unethical behavior, it often fails to clean up its own messes. This, he argues, is why many Americans have grown disillusioned with celebrities who claim to be champions of justice. The hypocrisy on display in this lawsuit only reinforces public skepticism about Hollywood's true motives.
Film with an absolute idiot of a co-star. And this human being was being so insecure and angry because this person couldn't get the scenes out. And I think I was so vulnerable and uncomfortable. But the next day I walked on and I said, you get off my set. This is the first time I've ever spoken. I remember being so scared and I said, you can F off.
Shapiro examines how the media is covering this controversy, pointing out the biased reporting that favors certain individuals while vilifying others. He calls out major news outlets for downplaying or outright ignoring key details of the lawsuit. According to Shapiro, this selective reporting is designed to protect Hollywood elites from real scrutiny. He warns that if the media continues to manipulate the narrative, the public will only become more distrustful of mainstream journalism. Shapiro urges his audience to look beyond the headlines and seek out the facts for themselves, rather than relying on entertainment reporters with clear biases.
Costume designer on Gossip Girl, but anyone who works with me,
I love that.
It's like drinking through a fire hose. You're like, wow, I come in and I'm like, this is what we're gonna do. But it's just because I really I find that fashion is storytelling. It's a way to message so much more than you can with words. Sometimes it's a silent way to message things. So the way that I come into a character is always through the fashion and through the costumes. So
saw in another interview you said that Ryan, actually your husband Ryan Reynolds, wrote part of that rooftop scene. Is that true?
Yeah, that's, I mean, I would have to compare it to the original one, but that's 99% his. Yeah, he just added, I mean, Chrissy Hall wrote an incredible screenplay. It was, one of the reasons that I wanted to do this film, but also, there are natural tweaks and modifications that come in when the actor is hired and you're trying to infuse your own personality and your own authenticity. And it's like, women are people of multitudes. And, I think that it was important to me that it didn't just feel like someone's interpretation of like female gaze. Like it really was, this is what we like, this is what we listen to, this is what makes us feel these vibes. And we had an incredible music supervisor, Season Kent, and one of our editors, Shane Reed, who, fun fact, he was my editor on Taylor's music video that I directed. And I was obsessed with him. And I was like, this guy is amazing. And he never edited a movie before. He just finished Deadpool and Wolverine, and he came on and helped us with this one. And he has incredible taste in music. And we share the same composer as well from Deadpool and Wolverine. So
one of the most explosive aspects of this controversy is how it could affect Reynolds' future projects, including his highly anticipated role in Deadpool. Shapiro predicts that if the backlash grows, it could put pressure on Disney to reconsider his involvement in the film. Hollywood has a history of distancing itself from actors facing controversy, especially when major franchises are at stake. Shapiro questions whether Reynolds' fanbase will stand by him or if this lawsuit will create lasting damage to his career. The stakes are high, and how Reynolds handles the situation in the coming weeks could determine his future in Hollywood.